Hello there, amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who ranking video for today. So for this ranking series, I'm going to be ranking every Doctor story from each era of the Doctor. So for this episode, it is ranking all of the first Doctor stories that I have seen, not included his appearance in the multi-Doctor stories. I'm literally going by the stories that we have seen in each Doctor's era. So like this video is going to be for Hartnell, the next video is going to be on Troughton, the video after that is going to be on Pertwee. And then, of course, with Baker. Then, of course, with Davison and Baker and McCoy. Then, of course, I'm going to be doing Paul McGann because out of his two TV appearances. And then, of course, Eccleston. And then Tennant. Then Smith, Capaldi and Whittaker. So, I'm going to be doing my own type Doctor Who ranking of the stories. Now, Doctor Who Magazine is doing their own type sort of thing because they've been going through their own votes and how each of them have been voted. But this is the ones I'm going to say what I actually have to say that I absolutely enjoy. So, going with this. So, there are 29 episodes of Doctor Who from William Hartnell. Now, out of the majority of these are absolutely missing. And to be honest with you, I thought I have got less I thought I had so much more William Hartnell stories I do need to go and find out there and listen to and buy and stuff. And when I was writing my list out, and because I was literally writing the list down as I was going through the poll of the first magazine for Hartnell, and I realised I've only seen 21 Hartnell stories out of 29, and I got to be honest, I think that is absolutely quite impressive. A Doctor's era has basically been hit really, really badly, and it's mainly Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, and the fact that I've actually seen 21 stories of William Hartnell's Doctor out of basically 29, I think that's absolutely kind of good, don't you? I think that's absolutely splendid. So I'm going to go ranking through not the stories I have listened to, but the main stories I have actually watched, and that does include The Crusade since it came out on Doctor Who Collection Season 2. So sit there and let's see, my dears, let's dive into ranking the first Doctor stories. So number 21, The Gunfighters. I absolutely do not like this story. I think it's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I really do not like The Gunfighters. I don't know why. I have watched this twice. The Doctor having to go and get his tooth pulled out. I do like the kind of cowboy setting, but I really hate that music, that Johnny Cash music that keeps playing through the entire of the whole story. It just really puts me out of it. I'm sorry to say that, but it really does actually pull me out of it. Number 20 is The Ark. Now, this one, it's the one when I first watched this one, it was the first time I got introduced to Dodo when I bought this on DVD. And my God, I really do not like Dodo. She is a least interesting companion to me. I have tried liking her, but the problem is though we've only got her 3 stories that actually do survive, which is The Gunfighters, The Ark, and of course The War Machines. But The War Machines is okay because she leaves after episode 2. I just don't really click with this story. I don't know why it is. I think Hartnell's performance is absolutely brilliant. I really think this should have been 2 stories, not like a 2-parter and another 2-parter. For the have the arc basically with parts 1 and 2 of the arc being one part and then another part of the story, so the next story being the arc 2 or something. I really like the Green Eye monsters, the Jarvins. I think they were actually quite interesting. Number 19 is of course The Sensorites. Now this is the weakest story out of season 1 for me. It's not as bad as the other 2 I've just mentioned, but has got some good moments when the first Doctor tells them off saying, "Now this is the first time me and my granddaughter Susan have very argued, and I do not like that." I like the way how the Sensorites take the lock of the TARDIS and he goes, "No, I want my property back." And the way they go, like that, I absolutely find that absolutely funny that the first Doctor does lose his temper with the Sensorites. Number 18 is of course The Space Museum. The Space Museum. Now, what can I say about this story? Well, it's actually kind of interesting when the TARDIS team arrives way early on in the point where they were supposed to arrive from, because time is really, really slow on them in the first 2 episodes. And then, of course, when time catches up to them, they are trying to hide away from these people. The Doctor is actually hiding inside a Dalek casing, and he goes, "I have done it. I have found them all. I am the master, and the way he opens up and he does that laugh, like laugh. I really find that funny, that scene. Number 17 is, of course, the Web Planet. The Web Planet, what can I tell you about the Web Planet? Well, it's got some good iconic moments in there. Many people in their ranking poll I've been watching on YouTube have put this one like their least favourite Hartnell story. I actually think the gunfight is Hartnell's least favourite for me, and I really don't like the gunfight. So I do find this story that the fact people normally put this really, really low in Hartnell's Hartnell's list, namely like 21 place. I really find that's a bit not good, because I actually kind of think this story is actually decent and stuff. Number 16 is, of course, Planet of the Giants. Now, the first story to season 2, and it's an interesting three-parter where the TARDIS materializes, and they've all gone like into little small people, and they kind of witness a death. I really do enjoy that one. Number 15, The Keys of Menace. Yes, this one has really grown on me quite a lot. I do like the way how each companion goes through a door trying to find the keys to stop the Mynards basically taking over. I have to admit, I do actually kind of enjoy that episode. It's absolutely brilliant. Number 14 is, of course, The Reign of Terror. Now, the Doctor basically arrives in the middle of the French Revolution. Susan, Ian and Barbara do end up basically getting captured, and they think they are, you know, in the middle of the French Revolution. They do find out, and this is one of the Doctor's favourite time periods. I absolutely do love this story. I think it's brilliant. Number 13 is, of course, The Crusade. Now, this one I watched on Doctor Who the Collection Season 2, with the thank you to the reconstructions of episodes 2 and 4. I have to admit, I absolutely love this story. It's absolutely brilliant. I really do wish the other 2 episodes were existing for this story. I really do like the story. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. I have to admit, I honestly do love it. Number 12, Unearthly Child, the very first story of Doctor Who in general. Now, part 1's kind of brilliant. Now, I'm not really too fond of the cavemen episode, the cavemen era type episodes that we have at episodes 2, 3 and 4. But the first episode is a standout, one of the best stories in Doctor Who history. And even though it just followed on by the caveman episodes, I do have to admit, it has got some iconic moments in there when you've got the first Doctor about to bash somebody's head in with a rock, one of the cavemen's head in. I have to admit, I absolutely love it. Number 11 is, of course, The 10th Planet. Now, Hartnell's ill was really, really bad at this point in Doctor Who because his health was starting to deteriorate. So he wasn't really there for episodes 3 because his health really wouldn't allow him to go and film episode 3. So he's actually in episodes 1 and 2 and 4. Now 4 is missing, but it has been pitched up with the animation, and thank God for the animation and the surviving clips of the first Doctor's regeneration. I really think The 10th Planet is a good one. I really do like the Simon with the first Doctor's there telling Simon going, emotion, love, pride, hate, fear. Do you have no emotions, my dear sir? I honestly just absolutely love that episode. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Number 10, The Romans. Yes, I really love The Romans. This is the great 4-part episode, and the fact that the Doctor is one of the reasons that the Great Fire of Rome actually happened in our point in history. It's absolutely brilliant that the Doctor just causes the Great Fire of Rome by having his glasses basically hit the sun and basically have it like bounce off through the glasses, the like microwave thing. Absolutely brilliant. Number 9, The Edge of Destruction. I have to admit, this is an actually brilliant 2-part story for season 1. I honestly love The Edge of Destruction. The way the TARDIS basically is trying to tell them that they kind of travel back to the beginning of time, and the way you see the first Doctor basically arguing with Ian and Barbara and how much they have grown since The Unearthly Child. I really think this is absolutely brilliant. Number 8, The War Machines. I absolutely love The War Machines. 1, because it's an Earth story. It kind of does a little bit set up unit with the invasion of being in the post office. I really love the way how the first Doctor shows he will not be intimidated. When you got the human soldiers basically being cowards and running away because you got these big massive war machines, the first Doctor's just there moving across the camera and he's looking very devilish and going like that. And where you have that cliffhanger, I think it's absolutely brilliant, because that's the first time the first Doctor basically proves he's not going to be intimidated. I absolutely love the War Machines for that. And of course, Dodo leaves at the end of part 1, at the end of part 2, because, you know, her contract drew up. I have to admit, I absolutely love that episode. Number 7, Galaxy 4. thanks to the animation of Galaxy 4, it was the only time I actually managed to sit down and watch that missing story for the first time. Yes, it is an animation. I really prefer the animation for this one. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I do know episode 3 of the story of Galaxy 4 does exist. And Airlock, I think it's absolutely great. We've got one existing episode of this. So the animation does really help this story as well. And it's really became one of my favourite stories of the animations, I have to be honest with you. Number 6, the Sensorites. Yes, the Sensorites. Now, I'm going to be honest here. It is my second favourite story from season 1. I've rewatched the Daleks recently and I realised I enjoy that story more than the Aztecs. I have to admit, this is my favourite historian episode for Hartnell's Doctor. I honestly have to admit it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. The way you have Barbara trying to change the course of history and the Doctor goes, "You cannot rewrite history, not one line. Believe me, I know. I know." I just honestly have to admit, I absolutely just love that line. It's absolutely brilliant. Number 5, The Rescue. So, this is the first time we get the introduction to Mia O'Brien's character, aka Vicky, who is my favourite Hartnell companion. I really do like Vicky. I think she's absolutely brilliant in the role for William Hartnell, and I think it's absolutely a good way. I honestly just love this story. It's a little good two-parter. I have to admit, I do like the way how you got the villain basically killing all of the people on the planet, and then he basically killed her father, and he does get his comments, and then of course the Doctor does invite Vicky to join the TARDIS with Ian and Barbara. I absolutely loved the rescue for that one. Number 4, the Daleks. Yes, basically the second story in Doctor Who history, and the very first time the Doctor comes across another alien menace. The Daleks is an absolutely fantastic story. I do think it is a bit too long. It should really be 6 parts, not 7. But I really like the way how we are introduced to the Fells. I like the way how basically we've got the Daleks in this for the first time. We're on Skaro. I like the fact that the TARDIS team is basically becoming really ill because of radiation poisoning or radiation sickness when you look at it. And this story is absolutely brilliant because when the Doctor, Ian, and Barbara and Susan basically evacuate, they're like basically escape from their prison cell, and they're there trying to warn the Fells about the deadly trap of the Daleks. I absolutely love it. And then of course the Doctor, the way he gets Ian to help to manipulate the Fells to make them fight against the Daleks, I think that's absolutely brilliant. And because the Doctor needs the Mercury 7, the Mercury, so can have the TARDIS back working. I absolutely love that episode. Number 3, The Chase. Now this one, I have to admit, this is my second favourite, well, my third favourite story from season 2, I have to be honest with you. I actually love The Chase because this one, instead of like the Daleks being on a planet on their own or an invasion story, this is the Daleks having their own time machine chasing after the TARDIS team. Yes, so basically the first Dalek story is when the TARDIS team ends up going to Skaro. The second story is when the Daleks invade the Earth. And this one is basically when they've got their own time machine and they're chasing the Doctor, Ian and Barbara and Vicky all through time and space. And of course it does lead into Ian and Barbara leaving by basically stealing the Daleks time machine and basically blowing it up so it doesn't change the course of history. Honestly, I just love The Chase. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And of course it introduces us to Peter Purves as he plays a cowboy on an American on basically the Empire State, and then the way he's there going oh like that, and the TARDIS vanishes, and when the Dalek comes through, he goes oh how many are there in you? I absolutely love that. I really do. And then of course number 2 is the Time Middler. Now the Time Middler, this is my all-time second favourite Hartnell story, I have to be honest with you. I honestly love the fact we encounter another Time Lord. At this point we don't know the Time Lords, that we meet the meddling monk. He's got his own TARDIS. He's there trying to meddle with the course of history, aka just before the Battle of Hastings, because this episode is set in 1066, so when the Vikings basically invade, but just before the Battle of Hastings with William the Conqueror. I really do love this episode. It's an interesting 4-part story. I believe Hartnell went away on holiday around about part 2 or 3 of the story, and he comes back around about part 4, that the monks basically had him as prisoner. I think that's actually quite interesting. I really love the Meddling Monk. The Meddling Monk is literally one of my favourite characters of the Hartnell era, because the way you hear him listen to the TARDIS on the outside, he's listening, goes, "A fate vibration, for TARDIS." And then of course that reveal of Vicky and Stephen going into the monk's TARDIS, and Vicky's there going, "The monk's got a TARDIS." Yeah, I really like that cliffhanger with Vicky just there going, it's a TARDIS. The monk's got the TARDIS. Dun 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 dun. And then of course when you get to the end of the season and you see the TARDIS team end up leaving 1066, and then you go into space, and then of course the titles, and then you see like Peter Purvis's face, you see Mirza O'Brien's face, and then you just see Hartnell's face at the end of the titles. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And then number one, so my all-time favourite Hartnell story has got to be the Dalek Invasion of Earth. Now, I absolutely love the Dalek Invasion of Earth. It's my favourite Dalek story. It's my favourite Hartnell Dalek story. I love the way how the Daleks, even though it does say in the title, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, when you have that Dalek coming out of the Thames, and when you got them being captured by the Rebelmen, and Ian goes, when I give the word, turn and dive into the water. Now! And then you just got this Dalek coming out, and they're like that, and you got that creepy music. Absolutely iconic scene that is, when you got the Dalek coming out of the Thames, and it's just there looking around, and Ian and the Doctor and Barbara go, Ian goes, when I tell the word, turn and dive in the water. And they're about to go in and go, damn! Uh-oh. I love the way in episode 2 you got the Dalek going, why have these humans been so loud to near get to that river? No idea. I absolutely love the way the Daleks and the Rebelmen are in this dark 6-part story. But the most iconic thing about this story is the goodbye to Susan, because Susan has basically fallen in love with a human, aka David, and the first Doctor's listening, and instead of her having to pick him or the Doctor basically makes that choice for her by locking her out the ties. He goes, now listen, Susan, please. I've double locked the doors. You can't get in. Now step up, my child, so I can look at you. Now over the years, I've been taking care of you, and you in return have been taking care of me. And the way Susan goes, but grandfather, I belong to you. He goes, not any longer, Susan. You're still my grandchild, and you always will be. But now, you're a woman, too. I want you to belong somewhere, and to have roots of your own. And with David, you may be able to find those roots. And believe me, my dear, your future lies with David, not with a silly old buffer like me. And he goes, one day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxiety. Just go forward in all your beliefs, and prove to me that I'm not mistaken in mine. Honestly, I just absolutely love that ending. I have to admit. And that is basically me ranking the 21 out of 29 Dalek, William Hartnell stories. He said Daleks was there. I have been, before anyone says in the comments, I have been reading along the Doctor Who magazine poll they've been doing for each Doctor. And the fact is that my number one story for Hartnell is basically the Dalek Invasion of Earth. And then their number one is the Dalek Invasion of Earth as well. And I actually think that's absolutely brilliant. So my number one story and their number one Hartnell story that's been voted by the fans, I think is absolutely brilliant, that the Dalek Invasion of Earth has basically become the first popular Doctor Who story for William Hartnell. So let me in the comments, what do you think of this? How many stories have you watched for William Hartnell or listened to? Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share, and thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments, what is your favourite William Hartnell story as well? Thank you for watching, and thank you for being magnificent viewers, subscribers. Thank you.